This is not financial advice, it's just the wine talking.
Welcome back to It's Just the Wine. I'm your host, Matilda. Joining me today, Melissa, Tal, and Gassia.
Welcome back.
Welcome.
Hey, girlies.
Today, we're talking about managing stress, which can sometimes take over. But before we get into that, does anybody want to talk about a win?
I think we all have a win because we just invested in some podcast mics. I think it was long overdue.
Yeah.
So it's a win for all of us.
Yeah, we're just trying to figure it out. But that's a huge win for our podcast.
Took us a couple of hours, but we figured it out.
Yeah.
We'll still play around with
Teamwork.
the settings, but I think we got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Cheers to us.
Oh, yeah. Cheers.
So before we get into today's topic, I wanted to define what stress really means. And the source is from ChatGPT.
Okay.
So stress is your body's natural reaction to any kind of demand, challenge, or threat, whether it's real, like you have a tight deadline, or you're worrying about something that might happen. And I believe it's important for us to talk about it because it's part of financial freedom. It's in the process to achieve financial freedom. Everyone feels it. And we need to learn how to manage it because it's linked to the leading causes of cancer, heart disease, and accidents, unfortunately, and even suicide. So
I want to add something to that because you said that you defined stress with stuff in the future. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people are so stressed about things that have already happened and just like think about it and like it kind of takes over their lives and it becomes like this feeling that they have, which I would say maybe it's anxiety, maybe it's stress, but it's just like takes over. So
I think that has to do a lot. Well, it could be stress, but I feel like it has to do a lot with overthinking.
yeah, you're a pro at that.
Yeah, I overthink a lot. So maybe, it causes stress because you don't know whether you're stressed or not. It's just a feeling you get, right?
I swear, like for me, again, I think everybody knows this. I was having a hard time career-wise and whatever. And, I didn't work for a while. And I didn't realize that I was stressing and I didn't even realize that I was stressing. I'm like, I have literally nothing to worry about, but still was having stress without knowing it.
Yeah.
So I feel like everybody has their own ways. Some people know, some people don't know. Some people, like you said, get sick and they burn out. And, I just feel like it's...
And everybody, I think also to add to what you're saying, everybody, I think also has different triggers.
Yeah.
There's different things that stress different people. It's not like this one thing that everybody stresses over. So whatever it is, whatever someone's going through, whatever, whether it's stuff they're stressing about in the future or just dwelling on the past, I think it's important for us to be able to manage it because stress is not something where we should all be like, the answer is to never stress at all. That's impossible. Everybody's going to stress at some point. I think the answer is how to balance it where it's healthy, where it's still pushing you forward, where you know what to do to kind of like stabilize it, where it's not taking over your life in a negative way.
I agree with that because usually when I feel stressed, it motivates me to work on the stuff that I need to do. And one of the ways I manage stress is to realize what's in my control and what's not. Because most of the time we do stress over the things that we can actually control and reduce stress. And at the end of the day, we have to remind ourselves that if the thing we're stressed about didn't work out, then maybe something better will happen,
Yeah, and I think the exercise is, like you said, to separate what's in our control and what's not. And whatever is not in our control, then at that point, you move on from that. But whatever is in your control, what you're saying is, if I understand correctly, is instead of like focusing on it with like negative stress, take control. And if it doesn't turn out the way you want it to be, then at that point you can pivot, change, or, you know, it just, I believe things happen when they're meant to happen. So it'll happen, or something else will happen because that's what was meant to happen.
Yeah.
I feel like I always do that. Like I stress over small things, and my boss, I always like say, oh, sorry, I forgot, or oops, sorry, like I made a mistake. And she goes like, stop apologizing, stop overthinking. Like, you know, you're doing great. Just, it's fine. It happens. But then, you know, I overthink and I just like, I panic.
And sometimes that leads
Yeah.
to more mistakes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That 100 with me. Oh, for sure.
You know, like the stress that you have because
Yeah.
you're not in like a comfortable
Yeah.
state of mind, because you're like tense, kind of like, even if you're not physically tense, your mind is tense and your body is tense, which means you're physically tense. But anyway, like internally, I'm speaking.
Yeah.
You end up making like more, even like typos or like things that don't really matter.
Yeah.
But when you're more relaxed, I feel like those things don't happen. And when you're more relaxed, you also are more confident.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
And you take
it's
the
like
time to
cycle.
do whatever you have to do.
I totally
Yeah.
agree.
When you're stressed and you're trying to do something, you're technically rushing.
Yeah.
And when you're rushing, you skip on a lot of things. Like there are so many times where like I'm trying to do a question to practice for my exam. Because I'm rushing, I like skip words and I'm getting the answer wrong. And that stresses me. And since I'm stressing, I'm trying to redo a question, and because I'm stressed, I get that question wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cycle.
What about
like
you?
me at work, if there's like too many to-do lists, I stress myself out. So then sometimes I forget what I had to do,
Yeah.
like the task that was more important. But on a more easy day, I'm like, oh, I could do this on my own time, and I finish with no mistakes, no nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another way for us to reduce stress is break it down into steps. For
Yeah.
example, you have a deadline in 2 months. Instead of like working on it the last week, work on it every day.
Oof, that was me in high school.
But you know that
We all know that's not gonna work.
it completely removes stress.
I know,
and I
but
can
that's-
talk
Yeah.
that. No, you can, instead of doing it and the last minute and probably not doing it right, taking an hour a day to work on that project will entirely remove stress, because you know you're moving forward. You know you're
I know.
going to make it happen. And there's stress that you can't control, which is on the day of the deadline. But that is your way of, that's you taking control of your mindset and saying that I did whatever I needed to do and I did the best I could. Now I let it be.
Yeah.
Whatever is meant to happen will happen, and it's out of my control. So that's how you reduce that stress.
I tried to have that mentality in college and university. You know, oh, I have an essay in 3 weeks. I should work on it, you know, slowly, read the book or whatever. I never.
But that was in high school. Like now you're grown.
Now,
and
yeah,
that's
it's different.
But
Yes,
sometimes,
but
you know, I work better.
responsibilities.
I work better and I'm more productive on a tight deadline. That's just how I work. Because, I don't know. Like if I have to do something in 2 months, like I'm going to look at a month and 3 weeks
Like
from
I don't
now.
know what I'm doing tomorrow.
No, I completely agree with
I work better. I'm more productive in that way. But if you apply what you just said to like financial freedom, and you're like stressed about reaching a certain level of financial wealth or whatever, you need to do it every day, every week, every month,
years before.
years before, or else you will never get there. But when it's like, when you're talking about work, some people just work. I know personally, there's no way I'm going to do something 2 months before.
yeah.
So my timeline was off. For work, maybe you don't need 2 months, but I'm thinking about other things. I just gave a timeline example. Like for work, maybe you need 2 weeks to work on a project. Maybe you need a month. It depends what you need. But for example, for studying, for me, I know that
A year.
No, half a year guarantees my pass. I have no choice to do it in 6
Yeah.
months.
So that's different.
Yeah, but for, like you said, financial freedom, yes, it requires my entire life. So the
Yeah.
timeline is off, but
Yeah.
like I get what you're saying. It depends on the work and what needs to be done.
It depends of what the outcome is, and it also depends of the person too. But there are some things like financial freedom where if you don't put in the work for years to come, there's no way unless like something
You win the lottery.
you win the lottery, you inherit something you didn't
But-
know about. I don't know, but you need to put in the work, and then that's in your control.
Yeah.
And then to stress, let's say, 30 years from now, you're stressed because you didn't reach the level of success that you wanted to, but you didn't put in the work for 30 years. That's on you. And now at this point, you can't control it anymore. So, like, just live. But, like, just live and let live. But, like, when you're, and especially you, because I know how motivated you are and how dedicated you are to reaching your goals, when you put in the work every single day, and she uses that like stress as, like you said, motivation, it like drives her in a way that is amazing. You use your stress as motivation, and I think that's what helps in the long run too, is a way to find that drive to take something that feels negative and to turn it into something
Like
positive.
talking stress and finance, talking about long term. It's good to have like a savings account in case of an emergency, and instead of stressing that you don't have the funds to pay. Let's say your car breaks down and the part is, I don't know, $300-$400, and it's not in your budget that month. So it's good to have like the rainy day financial saving account, let's say.
Yeah, I agree
Like
with
that's
that
a good
because
long-term planning.
if let's say you have a goal in 20 years to reach this, and that one car, like I was talking to you guys about, like in our last episode, that one off-budget vacation could really offset your entire year. That one car damage can offset your budget, that can delay your goals. So in order to not stress financially, you need to plan the risks ahead of time.
You need to be prepared.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which gives you comfort, which lowers your stress.
Exactly.
So it's all, sorry. Hello. It's all a cycle.
Yeah.
And I think also, like for me anyway, another way that helps me manage my stress is to give myself time to stress about it, and then that's it. And then it's like, okay, action, solution, what am I doing? And I've said this to you, where you've been stressed about like your exams or whatever. I'm like, okay, take 10 minutes, take a day if you need to. And then that's it. Now focus on what you can do to control, to achieve what you want to achieve. Because it could, you could fall into a rabbit hole if you just like
Stress about it all
day
day.
by day, and days are passing by. Now it's wasted time,
Yeah.
and it's wasted energy, and it's harder to get back into it. Just like anything else, you had talked about like getting back into Pilates after not doing it for a few weeks, how hard it is.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So take the time you need to stress about it, cry about it, scream about it, but then that's it. Now,
And don't avoid it. I completely agree to say, like, don't avoid it. Take the time to do it, because if you avoid feeling that whatever you're feeling, it could drag on through your work. Do it, get it done, like you mentioned to me that one time, and then move on. Work on it again. And the way to reduce stress, coming back to that, is once you give it your best, you know that you won't fail. So you won't stress. Honestly, I used to stress so much.
You still
No, I don't. I've completely removed stress from my life. That's the reason why I work 10 times harder, because that's the only way to reduce stress. And the only time I feel stressed a little bit is when something's out of my control. But then I always think of her because she goes like, you can't do anything about it, so just
Live with it.
yeah.
She used to, like, after she would do an exam, if she didn't, this was like at the very beginning, if she didn't do well, she would call like super stressed out. And I'm like, okay, but it's out of your control now. You did what you could. If you passed, you passed. If you failed, you failed.
You could redo it.
You could redo it.
Yeah.
You know, things you can't, people, my mother stresses about the weather to a point where it takes over her like mood, her day. And I look at her and I'm like, you cannot control this. Why are you stressing about rain or
It's
snow?
because she's gonna be stuck at home.
Yeah.
Can't do anything.
It's out of your control.
Yeah.
It's completely pointless energy.
I stress when people come over and like the house, there's like little
Yeah, but-
dust somewhere, and I'm
You're OCD though, like you're Monica
I
Geller.
stress
Yeah.
when there's a little sock on the floor, aka my husband's sock, and then I stress, yell at him like, pick up your sock.
But it's
Could be
crazy
anything. Yeah.
about the fact that we feel stressed about anything.
It's crazy.
Anything
makes
can
you feel
stress
stressed.
you.
One other thing that I do, that it's actually my new lifestyle that I'm implementing, is moving my body. So I think I've spoken about this every episode, but I started working out, like not just whatever, twice a week, like intense personal training.
Okay.
Twice a week, and then once a week Pilates. And I feel like once I'm moving my body, I just feel so much, like in the moment I don't think about anything, and I just kind of releases somewhat of my
Like
stress.
when you go
that's
for a
going
walk,
on.
you can walk out with some stress balls. And just-
It's the only time you're living in the moment.
I know, but one thing I cannot do is walk alone.
But
Like,
you
I
know
can't walk
what it
alone.
is? The working out and all of that, I don't know the science behind it, but it is scientifically
It releases
something,
what is-
endorphins.
I don't know the
Something.
word.
I don't know, like,
Yeah.
I'm probably saying the wrong
I'm not
thing.
a doctor.
But it is one of the best things you can do for
Yeah.
yourself to like release, to feel
'Cause I
good,
don't think
to
you're
reduce
thinking
stress.
of anybody else. You're thinking about yourself in that moment. Like even when you go for a bike or a walk, you know, you're just
Yeah.
you're
In a
breathing
better
fresh
mood.
air. Yeah.
Last week, I went to Pilates in Toronto, and it was like my 5th time driving in Toronto. So going there was very hard for me, and I was like super angry because a cyclist, with all due respect, was driving in front of me on a bridge. I was
drove in Toronto?
Yeah, I was very mad, and I was fuming. I couldn't find parking. I was late to the class.
Did you have a
Anyways,
stress ball?
no, but I went to the class, and after I left, I felt like $1 million. I didn't even care about anything. I didn't even care if I got a ticket on like a parking ticket. It just felt so good.
Yeah.
To work out.
Especially when you're walking outside.
Not
I
in the
usually walk
snow?
with my but especially with my neighbor, I walk with my neighbor. We're just like, I don't realize how fast the time goes by,
Yeah.
and I just feel so good.
It's a release. Yeah.
10K. That's all I need.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I tried to aim 8. 10 is hard, man.
I don't do it every day. Don't get me wrong. I do not do it every day, especially in this heat. Kill me.
No, I walked once today, but usually I walk twice. 20
like-
minutes.
And you walk twice and it's 8K a day?
Yeah, and I wore a hoodie today, so I could sweat.
Okay, let's do one more. One more thing, which I think for me anyway is super important: sleep. I think if you sleep well and enough, it just helps with stress. A lot of times, you know, it's maybe when you're very stressed out, it's hard to fall asleep because, you know, you're thinking about all the things. So like, I'm sure everybody has their own tricks to fall asleep. I start counting numbers and I'll go up to like 300-400. And then at some point
What?
I won't, because it takes me a while to fall asleep, while my husband falls asleep in like 2.75 seconds.
Same.
But it takes me some time. And a lot of times it's because I'm thinking about like even like the dumbest stuff. I tend to think about like who thought of like putting water in a water bottle. Like
Good thought.
I think of stuff like that.
That's pretty funny.
So then I get carried away and whatever. So I start counting like 1, 2, 3, and I go until I fall asleep. But when you have a good night's sleep and you wake up, 8 hours or however many hours you need. Some people need 6, some people need 8. I need 17.
But I feel like it's different too once you're a mom. Like I feel like
Yeah.
your sleeping hours diminish by
But it
by the year,
it depends.
by the minute. Sorry.
It depends what you need. But I
Yeah.
think when you know what you need and what helps you reduce your stress, because if you slept well, I'll speak for myself. If I don't sleep well, I'm angry. If I'm angry, I'm anxious. If I'm anxious, I start stressing about like someone chewing, like things start bothering me, and it builds up this like energy where literally things will stress me out that like wouldn't have stressed me out if I slept good.
Yeah.
So I think like really important is moving your body and sleeping well,
Yeah, I agree.
which are things that is like kind of like self-care in a way. It's things that you do for yourself to fill your own cup, to like feel better, do better, and just
Yeah. Put your mind to rest because
Yeah.
you've been working
Your brain.
your brain.
Yeah. Okay, little stress balls. So today was a great topic, and recommend to move your body, sleep as much as you can, not too much, but like don't be in the lazy mood energy.
Yeah.
But
Take control.
yeah, take control.
Control what you can, let go of what you can't.
Yeah.
You take that 8 hours of sleep. It's good for you.
Yeah. On that note,
Ciao, ciao.
like, subscribe, comment, share, follow us on Instagram, YouTube,
TikTok.
TikTok,
Spotify. I was gonna say Shopify, but no. Spotify.
Check out one of our TikTok videos.
Oh, there's one TikTok video that went viral.
That's another win.
Go, that's another win. Yeah, for sure.
Cheers, girls.
Cheers.
Cheers.
See you next week.
See you.